All right, all right. Welcome back to the Military Retirement Podcast. I was going to say the Green Logbook, but the Military Retirement Podcast. I'm so used to saying it for like a whole week straight, dude.
Yeah,
But yes, happy to be back on the Military Retirement Podcast with John here. Different time zones, but we always make it work. How you doing, John?
that's right. Doing good, man. How you doing?
Living life, man. Living life. You know, I will
Busy
tell
this
you a
week.
quick little story, real quick. Growing up, when just randomly on Sundays, I would wake up in the morning when I was a kid, and then my dad would have um, egg McMuffins sitting on the counter, right? Egg McMuffins. So we never were a big fan, like a big McDonald's family or anything like that, but randomly it would just show up. And I thought, that was just like a nice memory from my childhood. I ran over to McDonald's real quick and did it for my own kids. They were like, "What? Where'd this come from?" Acting all like they didn't know that Dad bought it over. Right? Where did this
Egg
come
McMuffin
from?
Fairy.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
So yeah, we don't eat a lot of it, but sometimes every so often, maybe once a month or so like that, I'll stop by the drive-through, give them a little something. But yeah, man, today is gonna be legit, dude. It's gonna be all about VA claims, specifically Veterans AI, and using artificial intelligence to help you with your claim. Something that I didn't even know was available when I was going through and retiring and leaving the service. Everything is kind of by hand and research and all that stuff. And now it seems like it's a lot more seamless these days.
yeah, getting a little bit easier. I've been having a lot of conversations lately, and since the first conversation we had about VeteranAI, it's just been it's like one of those things where you see a red car and you're like, oh, I haven't seen any of those cars around, and then you keep seeing the same red car over and over and over and over.
That's it.
That's what it's been my experience with veterans who have interacted with folks who are on active duty still, about their VA claims and their VA process, and then some folks who've been out for quite some time who are just getting around to, like, spoke to a caregiver this morning online on one of the Facebook channels that I'm in, and they're basically trying to get a couple of VA claims wrapped up so that they can get some extra care for her husband, and she's in the process of trying to get buddy letters together and trying to get some some connective tissue so she can get that service connection and that nexus created.
Right.
So yeah, I immediately pointed her to the show today, and the topics we're going to be discussing, and the platform that we're going to be talking about, VeteranAI, which is it just gets better and better and better. We saw it a few months ago, not too shortly after it launched. It had been out for a little while, and since then it's grown and got bigger and better, and it's a lot more things added, and for sure, just continuing to iterate and add things on and make the product better and better. And we're going to talk about some pretty interesting leaps forward, hopefully sometime before the show, of what's going to go on with VeteranAI and the future of VA ratings. So
heck yeah, man. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm always willing to learn and ready to learn about some new stuff, especially when it is anything to do with helping veterans out there and submitting their claims or just living a little bit better than they were yesterday. So with that, man, we can bring on Dennis, CEO of VeteranAI. Dennis, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing really good. How are you doing, Vic?
I'm doing well, man. Can't complain. Can't complain.
That's good.
I love the background, man. Your house is looking legit back there. Fireplace, everything.
No.
no,
That's
the magic of AI.
Yeah, it's the magic of whatever this is. No, right now we are literally tearing down a wall, redoing an entire kitchen. So I'm pretty sure the entirety of my living room is behind me right now. Like all of it.
Oh, really?
Ceiling to floor basically just stacked up, because this is the only room not touched by construction, basically.
I'm glad you explained that, and then you put that new background on there, because if you would have went on the live stream with just a mess, you'd be like, "Who is this guy legit? Like what?"
Honestly, I thought about going somewhere today, and just like, but there's still some things that need to be done right now. So I was building stuff, so it's all good. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So yeah, VeteranAI. Tell us, like, give us a quick rundown of VeteranAI, because I know there's folks in the chat that, I've been talking about it every so often on the live streams that I've been doing about AI kind of pushing the process forward and submitting claims and all that. And, people have been asking. So if you could just give us a quick rundown on what VeteranAI is and what you're doing.
Yeah, so VeteranAI was originally invented to help people specifically with PTSD claims. That's where it started from, because I was like, man, I want people to have an easier time being able to submit those stressor statements, so they don't have to like think about all that stuff. They can put some like quick notes down, something gets generated, and it's good to go to the VA. Since then, which I think the last time we talked was almost a year ago now. It
Yeah.
might be, it might be a little shorter than that.
Yeah, give or take some months.
Yeah, give or take a little bit. The team has grown. We now have 3 people additional to me, all veterans. So you guys, always know that when you're supporting VeteranAI, you're hiring vets for, I'd say, pretty darn good jobs.
Excellent.
But we've grown to 25,000 total veterans using the application. And we've added quite a bit of, I would say, functionality behind it. We obviously, again, started with like PTSD statements. We do all sorts of statements now, Nexus letters, buddy letters. But the big changes from, then and now really are around our most requested feature, which was C-file analysis, basically. So that big 6,000 page file the VA gives you, we go through the whole thing and we find, any kind of conditions. Like it can say, hey, on this day at this time, you went to medical because you fell and hurt your wrist. And it finds that it may not be a VA claim, but it might be something related to a VA claim. That's kind of the intent behind it. And yeah, I think there's one more thing we can probably cover a little bit later, but it's going to come out, I would hope, before Christmas. So, and I guess I'll spoil, but yeah, that should be VA, direct VA integration. And that's, like actually with the VA, we've been working pretty hard for the past probably like 4 months on getting that integration down. And I was, again, very surprised the VA even allowed that to occur, but they seem very willing. So I'm excited to see what that brings, honestly.
Yeah, I think the VA might need it actually in order to speed up the process.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, because what we're doing that's a lot different if you go to va.gov. When you go to va.gov and submit all your things, they don't, again, I think the VA does an okay job, but they don't tell you these other things that you need, like, hey, submit this 526, right? They don't tell you submit your medical records, submit your personal statements. They kind of give you this optional bit to it. And that's where we're going to come in. And again, these aren't AI features. It's just very basic stuff like, hey, we didn't see any medical records get uploaded. Do you want to upload those? It really would behoove you to upload those.
Yeah.
Personal statements, we kind of remind people, hey, personal statements in general don't hurt you. So for every claim that you're submitting, personal statement. So the idea being that we're pushing the needle in the favor of the veteran while still being compliant with how the VA wants us to submit claims to for them.
Excellent, man. And did you mention when you explained it at first, did you mention 25,000 veterans already?
Yep.
Holy crap. And I've only known you for maybe a year since we last talked.
Yeah.
Wow. That is a lot, man. That's awesome. Well, congratulations, dude. That's a heck of a milestone.
Yeah, I was going to say we're looking to do 100,000 by the end of, once we get, especially with the VA stuff done. I think we can do 100,000 by this time next year, which would put us up in the categories of like the DAV, VFW, American Legion. Like they do about 400,000 each. So we'd be getting pretty close to what they're doing.
That's excellent, man. Wow, congratulations, dude.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Beautiful. And as far as like the C-file analysis, like we were talking a little bit offline before we started, most people when they go and pull their C-file, and not most people, but a lot of people when they go and pull their C-file, they'll see like a whole bunch of nothing in there. For the folks who do see, and maybe how the VeteranAI tool allows them to be able to parse that data. I mean, I can imagine it just goes through and it grabs all the pertinent information, stacks it all together, sorts it, simplifies it, makes it easier to like look at. and understand. But what does it do after that? Does it like categorize things? How's it work with that?
Yeah, so we do a few things, and again, I would say I think you guys hit the nail on the head. We're very much an iterative team. Okay, so what you see today is going to change probably next month. But what we do when we get your C file, we basically identify what kind of document it is. So let's say it's an entrance exam. We say, hey, this is an entrance exam. Then it looks and says, hey, what things did you come into the military with? And then the output for you, the veteran, would be, hey, you came into the military with plantar fasciitis. It's an
Right.
aggravated claim. It's not a service connected claim. It's an aggravated claim. You need to claim it differently than you would a service connected claim. Then it goes through your service treatment records, finds any instances of basically any medical conditions that happened to you, basically. Same thing, labels those as service connected, potential service connected conditions, and then goes through your VA or your private healthcare records and does the same thing for those as well. The other thing that it's doing that, be frank, it's not, there's no UI for it, but it is doing it. So we're hopefully getting the UI pushed here pretty soon, but it would also be getting all the list of medications associated with it. Because the
Mhm.
long-term goal with that would be you're on, I don't know, some sort of medication for high blood pressure and it makes you go to the bathroom more. Well, going to the
Right.
bathroom more is a claim by itself. That's kind of what we want to start doing for people. That's coming, takes time, but we're getting there. So,
That's
yeah,
awesome, man.
that,
So it just kind of picks out like maybe potential secondaries.
mhm.
Is that what you mean? Okay. Very
Yeah,
cool,
so
man.
it's picking out all sorts of things. We do leave it a little bit up to you as to whether or not this is a true secondary condition, just
Hmm.
because of how many, when we did a few trials of it, people had maybe 80 things pop up, and it gets a little cumbersome to basically say, hey, these are the secondary conditions you should apply for. And we really take the stance that that's not our position to say, go apply for this veteran. It's for you to be, use the tools that we gave you, say, hey, can this condition be linked to this? And then apply for it. We feel that's the best way to do it because we don't want to put words into your mouth. It's your decision to apply for something, not ours.
Right. And how easy is it for somebody to, I guess, get started with a service like this? Like, is it just a fill in the blank type of thing? Like, what somebody who maybe is older and maybe not as tech savvy and doesn't really
Mhm.
understand how easy is it for them to start this?
So we've had people up to, I think, like 88 use this. I'm pretty sure that's about the
Oh,
oldest person I've personally talked to. He's out of
yeah.
California. I know he bought the app, and all he does is go to different veterans across the country, or the state, I should say, of California, and he helps them file for stuff, basically. So that's
Mhm.
awesome. Good for him. But I like to say, it's pretty darn easy. I'd say my one of my biggest hires was getting a UI dev in there, and he's been doing a great job. I can show you the data, but it's a little proprietary type stuff. But you can definitely tell that people are staying around longer. They're using things much easier. The moment I started hiring him, and him making a lot of things, a lot of changes to how interactions work on the application. But we do try to break it down as simple as possible. There's always room for improvement, but we definitely do try to say, hey, answer this question. Answer this question, one question at a time, and just work your way through things, and then you're done, and then everything's in one consolidated place for that, that disability basically after that.
Excellent, man. Yeah, 88 years old, man. It's got to be user friendly, I mean, especially with 25,000 folks that you've helped already.
That's basically
Any
the pitch
issues?
right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. That should be your spokesman right there. Find that
Yeah.
dude and be like, "Hey, it's so easy, I can do it." You know, and he's 88. So, maybe any issues you've encountered during your time, maybe like things that you are still looking to implement, things like that with the system.
Yeah, like to really think our biggest issue is what we
Mhm.
just talked about too. Like I
Yeah.
really think the way tech companies do really well or fail is by their UI UX experience.
Hmm.
So to me, that is my number one priority, bar none. Like I want it to be as stupid simple as possible. VA claims are not supposed to be hard, and we really want to make them as easy as possible. Don't get me wrong, that takes a long time. It's not like an overnight thing.
Yeah.
But I would say that's the biggest thing I'm still working on and I want to do better at. We've made so many like leaps and bounds with it, but I know it can be better. And that's what I keep pushing the guys to do is we need to simplify that process. Like we were just going over the VA integration, and so many times you could sit there and say, hey, if you click this button, what do you do? What's a real person going to do? Are they going to click that button like you think? And that type of stuff is hard to nail down the first try. So we'll get there, but that's my number one thing. Honestly, besides that, there's always something. If whatever you're doing in tech, add like 2 months to it. So the VA thing was supposed to be done like 2 months ago. It's not. It's just
Yeah,
hard.
nothing ever works on time. Nothing ever
No.
works on time.
No, not at all. How's your process with that going? Like, how did you initially get linked up with the VA folks? Did you reach out to them, or was it like they reached out to you, or a mutual friend connected you, and you guys got that process started?
So we asked about 3 separate times, and every time we kind of got like a meh response. And again, I'm not saying anything political, but once Trump took office, the response became, "What do you need for us to get this done?" And the attitudes completely changed and said, "Hey, we'll start reviewing your privacy policies, your business, and things like that." And um, we're at the point now where it's just like the app review. So we've done all the privacy policy, we've done all the business stuff, and they're happy with how everything's set up. We're just hey, are they okay with how the application looks? Because again, it's a pretty big deal. As far as I know, we're the only. I know there's other companies doing it right now, but I know I'd be willing to bet we're the only company with an appreciable amount of users behind it. Day one this
Yep.
gets launched, there are going to be a few hundred claims coming from VeteranAI going into the system. I don't think anybody else is like that. Nobody else that I know of, at least. So yeah, again, us just reaching out to them. Again, if Doug is watching this, I would love nothing more than to make it free for vets, but we got to work together on that one. So maybe us and the VA could work something out, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think your
Yeah.
numbers speak for themselves, man. That'd be a huge selling point for Doug.
Yeah.
Hey, we've done this. We've helped out 25,000 folks that we've taken this off the hands of the VA and then kind of did all the footwork, all the legwork, and then just push it to the VA for the
Yeah.
for the claim itself, right? So folks outside or folks within the system don't actually have to do the work. So
Yep.
you've definitely alleviated that, I guess, that stovepipe within the system.
Yep. And I think like a point to really highlight on this is we've done this without any venture capital. Like we have not taken any outside investment. And again, you kind of said it earlier, but like one of the biggest sales pitches that I do when I go into like a VSO or like a DAV kind of situation, I always say we have to charge for things, but the fact that we have to do that and we don't have anybody backing us means we have a good enough application to have survived an entire year in an industry where traditionally, if you don't have venture capital to support you, you don't exist past 5-6 months because it is just
Right.
it is too expensive to run this thing. So again, the fact that we have so many people using it and the fact that we're still around a year later off of nothing but basically veteran support means we have something that people like enough to basically survive and thrive at this point.
Yeah, and coming from 0 to 25,000 folks, I mean that's a pretty big leap in tech terms, especially like you said, without funding. And yeah, if you don't have the funding, then you don't have the runway to actually project out
Yep.
for 12, 18 months, 24 months or whatever. And that's
Yeah.
kind of why you go and pitch to VCs and try to get that funding so you can extend that runway out and be able to build and iterate and actually incorporate more and more stuff into the system.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Again, we're doing
it's
that
crazy.
without it. So
Yeah. Well, yeah, that and being able to bring something like that to the VA, and I'm really glad. I guess it's kind of the stars kind of aligned thing that happened as well, as far as reaching out and trying to get in touch with them. And it's really not, I would be really happy to see some, and I'm sure you're going to post about it maybe on LinkedIn or somewhere, like the first few folks that get a claim completely processed through VeteranAI and, approved or right. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's going to be the NYT highlight for the day, right?
Yep, I was
Yeah.
going to say, look for it on the CivDiv. I think we already have somebody scheduled, ready to go live, submission right through our platform. So
Right
it'll
on.
happen.
That's cool. So Dennis, I mean, let me ask you. So I float around Facebook every so often, Instagram, stuff like that, and I
Yeah.
see some of these other like AI things popping up that help
Yep.
veterans out. And I'm always like, yeah, this is not veteran AI, so it's no good, right? So what sets you apart from all these other folks that are trying to do the same thing you're doing?
So I know I have a pretty good suspicion who you're talking about, and I love nothing more than to say that is a consultation company saying that they're an AI company.
Mm,
That's it. So I'll dismiss that person because I know
mhm.
exactly what that is.
Yeah,
I know there's another person doing a very similar thing, and again, I have no, when I see people doing like, especially the tech side, I really like it because it's definitely something that for such a low cost, it has such an outweigh, like the benefit far outweighs the cost associated with it. Um, and again, I would say the biggest difference that I have seen so far is who we hire. Um, every other company I've seen has hired foreign uh, developers. And trust me,
really.
I've done my LinkedIn snooping, and I see it, and then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well that guy's from Venezuela, this guy's from
Oh
here,
no.
this guy's from here. But then you look at Veteran AI, and it's like, oh, this guy's from San Francisco, this guy's from San
Right.
Diego, another one from San Francisco, and it's like those are the people we hire, and it costs. The reason nobody else does that is because it costs more. But the
Right.
most important thing, and well, maybe one of the most important things is when you have a problem, it's very difficult to translate the problem into computer code. So having engineers that are veterans, that are American, it pays dividends. It's well worth the little bit extra that they cost. With a lot of it
Yeah.
extra, they typically cost 2 or 3 times more. But
Yeah.
that's one of the biggest differentiators. And I'd say number two biggest one would be, I would say, just general community support. We have, I think, about 1,500, 1,600 people in Discord right now. So when I want to know what to build, all I do is ask. And the people who are paying for it, the people who are buying it, they say this is what we would want, and I go
Yeah.
build it.
They'll give you the feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, that's gold. That is the most. I'd say that's our most valuable thing we have. And again, we appreciate that community so much because hey, at the end of the day, it's a tool for the veterans, and the people who know what the veterans actually need are the vets. So just ask them.
Hmm. Absolutely, man. Yeah. And I think we've all felt the frustration at one point in our life when we're trying to get a hold of a customer service representative and we can't get our issues across because there's a barrier there. So no, big ups to you, man, for actually using legit veterans and not somebody from some other country that's just there for customer service.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then also along those same lines, as far as like the infrastructure and the back end and all that stuff that you guys have got put together. I mean, to be able to go through the VA process, the vetting process to get accredited to be able to be used in conjunction with the VA's systems, you have to prove a lot of stuff as well on that side, right? Like we're not using East
Oh yeah.
Tech, we're not doing hosting our services in Alibaba.com, things like that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, we had to I think when we first pitched it to them, we did have a lot, not a lot, but we did have some infrastructure changes. And the great thing is it was all around additional privacy. So there's a little bit
Yep.
more cost on our end, but the fact that, everything I mean, we had to really do some digging into like where things were going because it gets kind of hard with third-party vendors, and we switched third-party
Yep.
vendors to other vendors just because we were like, hey, your terms of service aren't clear whether or not data is being processed in the U.S. or not. And it was always funny when we emailed them and said, hey, like, where's this going? And they would not necessarily tell us. And we were like, okay, we'll just use somebody else now. And we went to go use somebody else. So it took us probably about 2 months to get that cleaned up. But yeah, we're pretty proud now because everything's was hosted in the US, but now none of the data even leaves the United States. We're also using, things like 0-day logs now for like AI processes. So like
Mhm.
it literally goes into the AI, gets spit out, and the AI never like has no recollection of those type of things occurring. The thing with the C files, actually, we're using an open source model and running our own GPUs, which is a very big deal. That's very expensive.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not like using like OpenAI, which a lot of startup companies use. We're using things like that now, and that's again all of that is to increase the level of privacy to the veteran because again those are all our
Mhm.
services, and again like for me to you guys, like I'm not here to sell your data. I don't care about that. Like we're here to deliver a product to you that helps you with the VA. um, Not interested in where you live and why you live there and how many kids you have, nothing like that. That doesn't matter to me.
Right. Right. And I'm reading here in the comments a lot of there's a lot of talk about authorization, right? Of access to data and stuff like that. With Veterans AI, is there a need to sign some kind of agreement or give authorization over? I don't know if there's like any medical records that get passed on between Veterans AI and the person, the veteran.
So the number one authorization I think that they're referring to is between us and the VA. So
Hmm.
we're talking to the VBA side of the house. There's two sides: the VHA, which is the healthcare side. That side requires HIPAA. The VBA side does not require HIPAA behind it. Now, the VBA, will have to authorize us actually two separate times in order for us to get everything that we need. The first authorization would be for us to submit claims on your behalf, and the second authorization is for us to basically pull your disability information from the
Hmm.
VA and populate our app. The idea behind all that is it obviously makes the app all set up magically for you. So we think
Right.
it's definitely a valuable thing. But the you giving us authorization, we also have the system in place to revoke it. So you can literally just click a button and access is gone, and we'll no
Easy,
longer
huh?
have access to the VA. So again, that's for you guys, and trust me, the VA wouldn't let anything else happen. So
Really?
oh yeah, no, no,
I
they
believe
have
it.
some pretty strict rules. And it's probably why again, I can't tell you how hard it is. Again, as a non VC backed startup, to do all this because the costs associated with everything were pretty
Oh yeah,
high.
yeah,
We're
yeah.
yeah,
I believe that.
we're not running some rinky dink thing. I think even during the last AWS outages, we didn't go out. The Cloudflare thing, we had one hiccup, but overall, VeteranAI was still up. So there's quite a bit that we had to do to be compliant with the VA. Let's put it that way. I
Awesome,
hope
man.
that answers their question. If they want me to elaborate
Yeah,
more, let
yeah.
me know.
I think so, and I mean our audience is pretty I mean pretty on the comments. So if it didn't, I'm sure they'll tell us.
That's
No,
fair.
but it
Yeah.
sounds good, man. It does. And I'm gonna bring up the site here, man, because it's a lot different from when I first saw it just a few months ago. So veteranai.co, is that correct?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, all right. So all good. Yeah, it's got a nice interface here. User friendly. It looks like it makes me want to read through it and not just immediately get off it. So I like that.
Yeah.
And this is all you can do it all on mobile or on desktop.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, we actually just implemented a way because we're working on an app too, but we implemented a way at least that you can actually like save the website to your like iPhone or your Android phone.
Yeah,
And you can just click it as if it was an application, and it actually treats it pretty darn well. So that's kind of our band-aid until we actually get like a full application for you guys, like an app you can download on your phone. You can obviously
yeah.
access it via the web.
This is awesome, man. And
Yeah.
then for folks that maybe just want to try it out, You got a starter one on here that kind of gives you a taste of everything that you offer, or most things that you offer.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that's nice, man. Yeah.
Yeah, highly recommend it. If you've never, played around with AI, definitely use that first. If you like it, cool. If you don't like it, that's also fine.
Yeah, and
Over to you, John.
if you guys talk to the VA about potentially integrating the veteran AI into their VA app, where they have like all the details for your claims and all that stuff, is that something that you guys have? It might be further off in the future.
Yeah, I'd give it a little bit of time. I think that would be a little bit more of an ask. Again, like the integration that we're getting is something that technically anybody could go get. You do have to meet some sort of prerequisites to do that. But who knows? Again, we're here working. If the VA wants that, I'd be willing to build it for them. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, that'd actually be
Hell yeah,
really
man.
awesome if you could.
So what is next for VeteranAI? Like where do you see yourself going from here? I mean, you got 25,000. You're trying to, implement things with the VA. So what's the next step in helping veterans?
So the next big thing would be, again, we want to get to about 100,000. So our goal would be next year
That's
to be
right.
able to say, hey, we have 100,000 claims submitted. Like we're going to start using that as our metric of how many claims we've submitted to the VA.
Right.
So we want to do that, and I also want to. It's kind of tough because what we really I would say, would want to build next is basically an integration with all the service officers out there. And again, this is kind of not everybody likes what the direction, but I think the ideal scenario is that, let's say John's submitting the claim, he comes to VeteranAI onboards them, as far as saying like, hey, you live here. Did you know your free VSOs here? And ideally, the VSO is paying for it too. So John doesn't even need to pay for anything.
Yeah.
John does all his work, creates everything that then gets sent over to his local VSO for kind of like an accountant check. Like if you were submitting your taxes, you have on TurboTax, you would have somebody look at the claim. They say, "Hey, John, there's definitely this secondary thing right here. You talked about headaches, but you never put a claim in for it. Oh, forgot." Sends it right back. That kind of back and forth, and then it goes off to the VA. Because we really think that infrastructure is very valuable. The value that the service officers bring, the veteran, is very valuable. But the problem is a lot of vets don't even know service officers exist. Um, and to be frank, not every service officer is created equal. Like there are very good ones and there are very bad ones. And we feel that applying a software tool to this would kind of raise the bar to a standard, and ideally, quote unquote, create like the TurboTax of VA claims. Like that is the end goal, is to create something where it's very seamless. We're integrating with the VSOs and the VA, again, to get every veteran an accredited set of eyes on their claim before submission.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
We're
truly
gonna hope. We're gonna hope. It really, I think, help the guys over there in Europe. You guys don't have nearly as many people. So again, I think the DAV, if you're listening, I know I pitched that to them once. Said, hey, maybe some of the national level DAV VSOs could help us out. We could hook every Oconus veteran up.
Yeah. Is there any way we can help to get? And I don't know how much pushback you've gotten from any of these VSO organizations. I know you've talked to probably tons of them, probably all of them. But is there any way, especially for those folks in Europe like myself? Like I'm actually in the process of getting ready to resubmit my claims to get stuff going again, going through Clay and his organization there to have them go through my records, and they did all that and they sent it back to me. So I'm going through the process of going through the medical, talking to doctors, getting my stuff updated so I can have evidence, an evidence-based claim. And is there, because I've reached out to VSOs and I've gotten not a lot of direct feedback. And you're correct. Like for us, we have maybe one VSO. We used to have a full-time VA staffer in Naples, and now they've gotten pulled off because of all the transition that's gone on, and everybody doing the early retirement and kind of trimming down the fat of the organization. And now we're just kind of, we've got somebody, but they're may be a contractor and they come and go. Is there anything that we can help to do to help push some of that for you?
Well, honestly, again, this is more for all the listeners out there. I have done in the past 2 months, probably about a dozen, 2 dozen, somewhere in between there, sales calls with VSOs. So county level VSOs, typically a few townships, a few states. Um, and I will say this: the more veterans that walk into these offices and say, "Hey, I've been using this. This helped me out a lot." I think this would be a great benefit, maybe not for everybody, but for a lot of vets out there, this would be a great tool that they could use to help them with their VA claims. Um, this is the guy's name, Dennis. This is Veteran AI. Here's the website. Hit him up. That's like a number one way, because there's nothing more powerful, in my humble opinion, than a bunch of veterans going into somewhere and saying, "Why don't you use this yet?" Because typically when I reach out directly, I get a lot of skepticism because
Yep.
it's a new thing, it's scary. I get that. But it is much harder. I think the what was it? There's one place out in New York we're talking to right now, and that's how she learned about us, was through other veterans. And she saw it at work and she was like, "This is perfect. This is exactly what I need to help out more people." And that's like the whole gig is like, a lot of VSOs, they could be better, but they don't have the manpower for how many vets they have to deal with. This allows them to, kind of take a burden off and maybe focus on people with like quote unquote high needs, more or less. But yeah, honestly, that'd be the best way. You guys can always bug the DAV, VFW, American Legion if you want to, like the national
Oh, I
level.
will.
But that's another way. Happy to talk to them too. So
Dennis, man, I got a quick question for you, dude. And
yeah, sure. What's up?
I've been seeing a lot of this stuff going online, right? There's a lot of, I guess, talk about potential changes with VA claims and like reform and stuff like that. It could be folks that are just putting information out there. It could be
Mhm.
stuff in the news. There's like been a Senate hearing on veteran affairs. I'm sure you've seen a lot of this stuff online where they're
Mhm.
talking about potential reforms. Have you noticed any red tape with the VA, with your service, and specifically trying to get claims through to the VA, or more claims than they normally do?
So what we have seen is things have been faster with claims.
Hmm.
Like if you do a fully developed claim specifically,
Yeah.
those have been going through much faster. And obviously, again, that's something we're trying to push for is, hey, upload your medical records, upload all the documents, make sure you did
Right.
everything, i.e. a fully developed claim. Those have been going through much faster than they have historically. And again, on our end, in terms of like getting I would say the green light up till now has, since the new administration changed, and I think a few of the pushes that you've seen, there's been a few mumblings
Hmm.
on Capitol Hill. It does seem like the willingness for this type of stuff to happen is basically getting pushed. They're like, "This is the future. We need to implement it." What I will say is, I don't think the VA is going to necessarily pick somebody and say, "Hey, this is our chosen winner." I do think what they'll do is they'll allow everybody to do it, and then they'll see who's winning and then support the winner. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they want to do is help, get more claims in, and whoever's doing that the best, I'm sure they'll throw some contracts their way to make that happen more efficiently.
Oh yeah, yeah. So that's good to hear that there's not a ton of red tape like I've been hearing on
I don't
like
think so.
online everywhere. I think it's more
No.
like a scare tactic thing. Like, oh yeah, things are changing. People are, you're going to lose your VA disability benefits and
Oh,
that. Yeah. So
okay.
I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
well, are they making it harder for folks to submit their VA disability claim?
Okay, so from that angle, sorry, I understand. I think in some ways the changes that are being made do push the needle in the favor of the quote unquote VA. If you want to put it at VA versus veteran, let's just say that it pushes it a
Right.
little bit towards it. Like the mental health changes are like that. I've made a few videos. This was several months ago where the change in the PTSD form specifically, I think that negatively hurt veterans. And we have data to support that too. Um, Now, with that being said, I do think the act of claim submission is getting easier. Like that part's getting easier. They're trying to make that more seamless. And I
Sure.
think we're part of that. I'm sure there's other organizations that I don't know of yet. I know they exist, but I don't know who they are. Um, they're part of that as well. But I do think the rule changes that you're referring to, yeah, those are at the very least going to push towards the VA, or maybe instead of a 50%, you get a 30% rating. Like that's kind of what I think is going to happen with a lot of changes.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think that there's almost like a double-edged sword. Like they want to help veterans, but also
Mhm.
it's costing the government a ton of money
Oh
to
yeah,
do this. Yeah, so it's kind of like they want to make sure that they're giving the right payout to the right veterans. So like it's not
yes,
increased by any means, or they have the sufficient medical evidence to give the appropriate rating to each person. So I can see it from both sides, right? The VA doesn't want to spend tons of money, but also, they want to help the veteran out.
yeah.
So it's kind of time will tell. I'm kind of standing by and keeping track of this stuff because I want to see how it plays out as well.
Yeah, and again, I think that's like where an app like ours does come in, and help out vets a lot, because it's there to say things like, "Hey, you need a diagnosis. You need that." A lot of people say like, "Oh, you don't need that to submit a claim." You don't, but it sure does help. It pushes that needle in your favor significantly. And again, that's what our app is designed to do. It's designed sure to make the process of submitting a claim easier, but also all the extra stuff that the VA doesn't necessarily tell you need, but it does
Mhm.
exactly what you said, which is going to get your claim approved more likely. Like again, diagnosis, we have a little section that says like, hey, when's the last time you've been to medical for this condition? It's past 12 months. Oh, well, you need to go to medical for that. And again, we didn't come up with that out of thin air. We actually asked ex-VA Rater, VSR, what the requirement was for that. And he said anything past 12 months and it's almost an instant denial. Not necessarily, but he's like, it
Well,
brings it into question. So like those are types of things that isn't transparent to the veteran that I think, again, our app helps out significantly with. And again, no AI features involved with that. It's just good old fashioned, computer code, quote unquote. But
yeah,
um,
and you can see, you just mentioned it, but you can see the I guess that the changes, or you can track. How was it that we worded it? The the percentages that are being denied. You can see the changes, right? Like the percentages on your side, as far as
mhm.
like tracking like shifts and changes, shifts and
Oh yeah,
denials and reasons why they're being denied and all that stuff. You get all that information, that feedback on your system.
yeah. So we have to do a little bit more work than what we will once we get the VA integration. Once we
Yeah.
have the VA integration, I'm very confident we'll be probably the best place to go to for data. Again, like that, the coolest thing would be for the vet. We would know what's the likelihood of secondary migraines claim being approved secondary to PTSD. Like we would
Yeah.
just know that it would be, hey, it's 30% likelihood, but you need these things to do it.
Mm.
And that's the type of insights that I think would be hugely beneficial for
Oh,
veterans to
100%.
understand.
Yeah.
Like and again, we're very much incentivized to obviously give that to veterans as well.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, honestly, right now our app does do that. We definitely know quite a bit, but again, we're really waiting for the VA stuff to make sure it's very clean, before we start giving that out to people and allowing people to use that information.
Absolutely, man. That's awesome. Excellent information, man. If you can even kind of package that up and say, hey, look, here's the reason why a lot of claims are being denied. Like even making a video on that. Like here's a big reason why your claims are being denied. For the most part, you're missing this, and just kind of opens the eyes of the veterans to understand, like, oh shit, I
Oh
really
yeah.
do need to have a full on claim and not miss any little piece in order for it to get uh, um, actually processed.
Yeah, and we do that right now with our decision letter portion. Like you can upload your latest decision letter and it finds, hey, this is why you got denied. These are the things you can do to fix that denial. There's not necessarily one size fits all, but that's something right now that we have for vets that they can do. I think first day we launched that one, like it was like 2,000 plus people used it.
Yep.
This is why you need like a real team, because that's we didn't build for
Why?
that. It would have yeah, would have broke some stuff because it was 2,000 in like a few hours, like two
That's
three
right.
hours.
That's right. Yeah. Things will go wrong.
Yeah.
So as far as for our listeners here, we'd like to hook them up with a little something here. And for folks listening, is there something that you can provide them for Veteran AI that can help them out? Maybe they have to submit something. Maybe they have yet to submit a claim and they want to get started somehow, but they're a little afraid of going through like the big organizations.
Mhm.
What can we give them? Do you have anything that you can hook them up with today?
Yeah. So we got a code. I think either John or Vic probably could put it up on screen or put it in the comments,
Yep.
but it's Mike Romeo Papa 50. And you can put
Awesome.
that in with a monthly. Basically, you pick Pro monthly. You can put that in. It'll give you 50% off basically that first month right there. And again, that'd be a nice easy way for you to get some additional evidence generated. You spoke about evidence-based claims. We're a very big believer in that. So get on there if you need like a Nexus letter, get one of those. Have your doctor sign off on it. Create some buddy statements, whatever you need, you can get there and you can use it. I know a lot of people, they love to do research with the chatbot with Six. They love
Hmm.
to get on there and say, hey, can this be connected to this? Yes. Okay. What do I need to do? And then I think that's probably one of the best benefits, honestly, on the app. But anyways, you can do any of that. There's a code. Um, Let me know and get in Discord and tell me what's great and what's bad. That's the only other thing I want.
Excellent, man. Yeah, for real, man. That's invaluable information, dude. It's no, we truly appreciate the MRP 50, the 50% off that. For folks out there listening, hey, jump on it if you haven't already done so. It's 50% off for our listeners. So, Veteran AI, and Dennis has been gracious enough to provide that. So definitely use it if you need it. And what is the link to the Discord? I mean, we can put that up on the screen as well.
Yeah. It's a good thing I'm
Yeah, I can
on
grab it.
the app right now because I can copy that. Didn't
You
have
can
that
actually just
prep
drop it there in the
beforehand.
chat if you want.
Yeah, I just dropped it in the
Yeah.
chat. So, yeah, that's our link directly to Discord. You can get there. Again, we utilize it just not only for feedback about the application, but it's also a good place if you have a question. Somebody's probably done the thing you're doing right now or gone through it. So that's
Mhm.
that's the other bit. We provided this AI application that has no humans. We wanted to make sure there are still humans involved and you could still ask questions of real people.
Absolutely. And we have a question from the audience here. And where's here go? Navy Cop asks, does the system work with disability results from the VA if I feel I need to reapply on a denied issue?
Yeah. So again, you would upload that decision letter for that, and then it outputs, hey, these are the things you need to go do. Let's say you got denied because of a Nexus, it would say, hey, go get your doctor to either write a doctor's note, a Nexus letter for you, or go pay the other options, go pay for a formal Nexus letter. Obviously, these first two are much cheaper, and then
Mhm.
resubmit the claim to the VA. So yeah, it's designed definitely to do just that.
Excellent. Excellent. So there you go, Navy Cop. And then let me see, we got another one. Christopher Brown, hey, the Discord link is in the chat if you don't already have it there. And we could probably throw it up on the screen. I'm trying to figure out how
Yeah, I
to do
actually
that.
dropped it in the LinkedIn for you. I can stick it on the screen if you want, but I did drop it in the LinkedIn chat because we're not able to talk with the LinkedIn chat through this thing. So
Oh, okay.
for
Yeah,
whatever
Chris
weird
Brown
reason.
here. Yeah, I don't
All
know
right,
why.
Chris, don't worry.
Yeah, why it doesn't? Maybe we have to write some code on that stuff, huh? Can't get us up on the LinkedIn.
Can you build us a better live chat, live streaming platform?
Yeah,
LinkedIn seems to be the redhead stepchild. LinkedIn is.
yeah. Let's just build a better LinkedIn. How about that?
Yeah, I agree. Let me see. Navy cop here denied on a claim I was never even provided a CMP exams for. So trying to figure out that issue. Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
rough one, man.
so yeah, like just a little context for you, real quick, Navy cop. When there's basically two parts to getting a claim done, like approved. Your first step is to convince the VA that you deserve, quote unquote, a CMP exam. To do that, you need to prove that you have something wrong with you, commonly called a diagnosis. You need some sort of event. If it's a service connected event, you need something to have happened to you. And then three, you need some sort of statement linking those two things. Again, it gets confusing because that's called a nexus, but what the VA means by that right then and there is just saying like, oh, I got let's say you're filing for headaches and you were exposed to something. The nexus statement for that could be something as simple. And again, I hate when I see, especially this one guy going on giving you a 4-page summary with all sorts of crap you don't need. All it needs to say is every time I got exposed to X thing, I got headaches 10, 15 minutes later.
Mm-hmm.
You're good. That's your three things right there. If you can show those three things with a little bit of documentation, you're off to the CMP exam. So that's, again, read your decision letter. You got denied on one of those three things, and just whatever the thing is, just submit it as a supplemental claim.
Hey, Dennis, real quick. As far as I know, we had spoke about it a couple times here and there, but as far as the buddy letters, do you always need a not just a buddy letter, but also like the Nexus kind of connection letter to go with it? Do you need multiple buddy letters? Like, do you have any kind of recommended guidelines for that for folks?
So you need a buddy letter. I'd say I'm going to forget one of the two things, but for now, let's just say there's two things. I'll look up my TikTok, and I have two things I remembered. But the big one is, let's say you don't have a piece of paper, because that's what the VA needs. They need a piece of paper from service. Oh, that's what it is. So the piece of paper from service saying that something happened to you. If you don't have that
Mhm.
piece of paper, that's where a buddy letter can come in. And just know that there's a big difference between combat and non-combat claims. If you were in combat, the requirements to get that claim approved are lower because it's assumed like, hey, you didn't go to medical because you were out in the field. Get it? So that's where buddy letter can come in, kind of fill in that gap. It's very important for the buddy letter. Number one thing, again, not my words. That VSR that we kind of talked to is kind of he's on contract with us. He, I want to be clear, he's retired. Nobody, don't want nobody coming knocking down my door. The biggest thing is to be consistent. Make sure your buddy is consistent with the dates, the times, the locations, the symptoms he saw or she saw. Those things are very important. So make sure all that's good. Again, our app helps you take care of all that. The second time would be if there's a big gap between when you are saying it happened, like you got headaches here in service and you never went to medical for like 10 years. A buddy letter can help fill in why you did that. Like you can have your boss write you a buddy letter and say, hey, yeah, he's taking off, on average, like 2 or 3 days of work a month because of his headaches. And he just never went to medical for it. He never went to the doctor for it. That's a huge win for you, those type of letters. So those are the two big scenarios I can think of. If anybody's got more, obviously drop in the comments, but that's what I think of.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No, this is all great information, dude. Because I've never had to redo any of my stuff. I did the whole BDD claim right when I was still in uniform, and I'm like, I was fine with my rating. I'm like, I don't feel like I need to do anything else with it. So that what I got is what I got. So and it was super easy for me. But I've talked to so many since even going on the channel, starting the channel, and even Military Retirement Podcast. There's been so many people who are like, man, I'm trying to fight for what I feel I should be getting,
Mhm.
but I just can't get to that. And I'm like, okay, well, I wish I could help you. I don't know much about the whole VA disability claim because I never actually had to go through it. It's connected with folks like you who have like intricate knowledge, you and then Clay and everybody
Mhm.
that are intimate knowledge on how the process works that helps the community out so much, man. So I really appreciate what you're doing, man, and building this whole system to help veterans out and potentially, speed up the process and get everything situated with the VA too.
Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
was gonna say, more than happy to do it. And again, we've made a lot of progress in the last year. I really think over the next year, it's gonna start to become pretty crazy. It'll be hopefully the one-stop shop for VA
A
claims.
good crazy, man. A good crazy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah.
say, if life wasn't stressful enough for me, it's about to get more. So that's okay though. I'm totally okay with it.
Hey, man. Yeah, that's what keeps you alive, man. Some craziness and some strong coffee, and then you're good to go.
Again, my kitchen's all destroyed. It's my coffee machine right next to me, right there, and it's not plugged in. I don't know where the coffee is. I saw you drinking the coffee. I'm like, no, I just had to have Starbucks. Don't It is
No,
what
no,
it
no.
is.
Yeah. No comments from my side. Yeah, just some strong coffee, man. And 'cause
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
in the Navy, weren't you?
yeah. Yep, I
In
was
Navy.
on
So you guys
submarines.
don't wash your coffee cups, right?
No, no, absolutely
No,
not.
no,
No,
not at
I
all.
think the
It's
first
bad
day I
juju if
showed
you
up,
do.
oh yeah, no, I put my coffee cup right where the engineering. Oh man, people are gonna make fun of me for not knowing this now, but not the Cobb, whatever the engine, the nuke version of it was. I took
Yeah,
his
there you go.
coffee spot, and
Yeah,
everybody's like, "You can't do that." I'm like, "He's not gonna do anything." And
yeah.
sure enough, nothing happened because of it. That's my coffee spot. It's a
There
great
you go.
spot.
Yeah,
Anyways,
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, all good stuff, man. Well,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
no,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
I do appreciate you coming on, man. And John, if you got something else, man, I'll turn it over to you as well.
No, man, I really appreciate you coming back on. We just wanted to, sometimes it seems like we rehash these things, but I know there's people that are
Seasoning,
just
yeah.
hearing this for the first time. Yeah, it's called seasoning for real. That's what I do with my wine glass. Same thing. I just put my wine glass in the same spot and rinse it out with some water, and it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a ton of people who are listening to this or watching this right now that haven't ever heard of Veteran AI. When we came across it the first time through Clay and
Mhm.
brought you on the first time, it was mind blowing then, and it's even more mind blowing now. And hopefully next year is the hockey stick year where it takes off and just goes
Yeah.
bananas.
Yeah. I was gonna say
But
we're
Don't
doing it again pretty darn good.
don't
I
forget the little
appreciate you
guys there,
guys.
Dennis. Don't
Oh
forget the
no,
little
I
guys
was
when
gonna
you make
say
it big.
yep, I always I like to think of it as I always will remember the people who helped me get to the next step.
Mm,
Same thing with like all the VSOs that are taking a chance on us right now. We have a few that are using it right now. Like I
yeah,
always remember those guys when we are in every VSO. So
awesome, awesome. Well, Dennis, man, it has been great having you on. Can we put that thing back up on the screen there, John, real quick?
I got you.
The 50 MRP 50. So anybody out there who's looking to do something with their claim, get it started or advance it or do a Nexus letter or something like that, check out VeteranAI.co, 50% off using code MRP 50. Thank you, Dennis, man, so much for coming
yeah,
on and sharing the wisdom and how it's all going for you. And 25,000 strong so far, 25,000 veterans strong so far being helped. That's an awesome milestone, man. Much success to you in the future, dude.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. And again, thanks for having me back on. I always love coming on with you guys. So appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime, man. Welcome back anytime.
Yep.
Good luck with the renovations.
Listen, my back is sore. That's all.
Hey,
It's tough.
not service
Get
connected.
that documented for
Yeah,
the claim.
definitely not service connected. No, definitely not.
All right, Dennis, man. Good having you,
Yeah,
bud.
I'll see you guys.
Thanks, man.
Out.
Appreciate you. Thanks.
Yeah, man. Hey, all good. It's always great to have a guest on, man, especially somebody as knowledgeable as Dennis. It's amazing because we talked to him several months ago, almost a year ago, like you mentioned, and he was not anywhere near his 25,000 veterans helped, and now to know that he's just just hitting that milestone, and I got to believe that he's going to get some kind of a contract with the VA. Hopefully, he does. because he's doing incredible things, man. I mean, he's even got that 88-year-old dude going around. He bought the app and he's going around helping folks and all that. That's awesome, dude.
Yep.
I mean, if an 88-year-old can do it, I mean, I don't know how
Anybody
this
can
guy could be like a very technologically advanced 88-year-old. I don't know, but I want to believe, like, you know, if an 88-year-old can do it, I can do it.
Yeah, it's definitely, like I said, it's a conversation that I have on a regular basis with folks, and a lot of people, a ton of people I talk to are asking about the buddy letters. I've had people reach out to me for buddy letters on various different things, and I feel like it's one of those things that just keeps coming up and coming up. And if you can jump on here, even if you just jump on and click on and do the free thing, but you have, you know, you've got the discount code, so you can get on there and get pro for half off. But just jump on there and put together a couple of letters on there and just see what's in there and be able to get a really good piece of documentation back so that you can send that off to the VA, hopefully directly eventually, but send that off to the VA and help you along with your claims process. I'm with you guys, right? I didn't get to do the BDD. I wasn't so lucky, didn't get to complete it, but I'm just right there along with you guys and girls out there in the audience, trying to get my stuff together. And the more stuff that I can get to be able to help myself put in a better claim, get my claim approved, or at least get it to the point where I've given them everything that I could possibly give them. And if they denied at that point, then it needs to be denied. So
yeah. And I just want to throw it out there. Once you do, you get your claim approved, please don't go on TikTok dancing around and saying, I got my 100%. Don't do that, man. Too much of that going on. You can see my videos. I got my opinions on that craziness going on. But no, super cool, dude. Aside from that, tomorrow I'll be sitting down 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, because I'm over here in California. I'll be sitting down and doing my weekly coffee and veterans chat. It's just filling up some coffee, my mug with some coffee, just talking to veterans. A lot of folks like to jump on the live stream and talk, kind of give their story. It's just a way to build camaraderie, you know, just kind of find your tribe again. It's awesome. I love hearing these stories. And all I do is click. I just have the channel. I mean, it's all about you folks that come online and just, you know, share your stories and connect, dude. It's all about you all. So all I do is press go live, and that's it. And then from there, I just throw out a topic, whatever happens, whoever wants to come on screen, you know, more than welcome to do so. So very cool. Very cool. So I'll be doing that tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you got the time, jump on the live stream, jump in the chat, talk to us, talk to me, and we'll go from there. We'll have some good times.
Yep. I'll be in class, so I won't be there. Sorry.
Just live stream from class, dude. Just call in.
That's what I do anyway. I don't know if I can make Zoom and this work at the same time and switch microphones back and forth. I don't know. We could try it.
We could. I'm sure Dennis can write some code to make that happen. Yeah, we'll see. Swing to computers. But with that, man, it has been just an awesome episode. I learned a whole lot. You know, big ups to VeteranAI. If you want more information, veteranai.co, and you know, start your VA claim, or continue it, or do some kind of Nexus letter. Check out all the information on his website. The dude is smart. Aside from that, if you haven't already done so, join the Facebook group. If you have Facebook, it's called the Military Retirement Group. You don't have to be retired to join. You can be a veteran. You know, we're approving a whole lot of folks in there. Doesn't matter if you serve 4 years or 40 years. There is a whole group of veterans out there who want to connect and get information. So I think we're hitting about 2,900 so far in the Facebook group. So anybody out there who knows of a nonprofit or some kind of organization that may want to jump on and sponsor that, and then we'll put their little logo up on the banner. Hey, more power to you. Just send it over my way, and we'll work something out. So it's called the Military Retirement Group. And then, of course, my own channel, The Green Logbook, which will be going live tomorrow. And then what else we got? Our book. We wrote a book.
We did.
Do you have the book? Hell yeah.
I still have the not for release demo copy here, but yep.
Oh yeah, yeah. So it's an ebook right now on Amazon. Just
It's
type in
ebook.
bottom line up front. Bottom line up front. What you need to know before you leave the military. 10 short chapters on what John and I wished we knew before we left the military, and what we've learned over, shoot, it was at that point, it was like a year of just interviewing veterans, active duty, and having guests on the show and just researching and writing and stuff. And our own personal experiences kind of mixed in there too. So very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Aside from that, hit us up. It was info@militaryretirementpodcast.com, or you
That's
can
correct.
hit me up, thegreenlogbook@gmail.com, and I'll make sure to answer. Aside from that, I got to take off here pretty soon, so I'm good. Over to you.
Thanks
Bill.
everybody for tuning in, watching, listening. Hopefully brought you a little bit of value. Stay safe out there. Winter is upon us. Be sure to check in with your buddies as you need to,
Yes.
as much as possible over the winter season. The winter season is the worst season of the year for suicide rates, not just veteran suicides or military suicides, but suicides in general. So keep an eye on your battles, and we appreciate you. Thank you very much. Out here.
All right. Yeah, out here.